Lights, camera, action.
Good morning, you guys. Today is March 21st. It's Friday and it's 11 a.m. This video is gonna it's gonna be a pretty serious video, and it just depends on who you are, and if you're on my side and you know who I am, right? Or if you know who I am but you're one of my haters, or you're somebody that's just kind of in the middle and you just don't know what to think. This video, as far as what I'm going to be talking about, it's gonna take you one way or the other, man. I'm just letting you know. But overall, this is essentially just a briefing, right? So if you're a friend, supporter of mine, if you're and you are part of the military, law enforcement, you can understand what a briefing is. So wherever you are, whether you're in the United States, if you're in the state of Oregon, if you're in the county of Deschutes County, you're in Deschutes County, or you're in a different county in Oregon, or you're up in Washington or California or anywhere east of Oregon, around anywhere in the United States, whoever you are. But you're on Heavenly Father, Team Jesus, right? Heavenly Father's team, right? And Team Jesus, because Heavenly Father and Jesus, they're working together. I've announced who I am, so if you know who I am, when I say Jesus, I'm me. My name's Brandon. I was born in this lifetime. I was born, came down in this reality. Born 1988. The name I was given is Brandon. But if you're somebody who can identify, if you can look past the flesh and you can read the spirit, including yourself, if you can separate your flesh from your spirit, and you can understand that your spirit is just your inside, your human body is just the vehicle that carries your spirit, right? Which means the day you die, the real you, your spirit, leaves your body, so your body's dead on the ground, right? And now you're out of your avatar, out of your vassal, out of your vehicle, and now you're out. You're just out. You're a spirit, but you're still within the confines of this reality, but you're no longer operating on the third dimension, which means should you pass, should you take your last breath in this reality, something bad happens to you or whatever, you end up passing away. As far as you take your last breath, the next thing you know, your spirit is out of your body. So you're out of your body and you're looking around, and it's like you're in a different reality, but you're still within the confines of this whatever this world is. You're still here, which means if you're not on Heavenly Father's team, and you're not on Team Jesus, you're not a believer of Jesus Christ, you're none of that. You're not on that, you're not on that side, and you're either a non-believer or you're a full-on open Satanist, and you pledge allegiance to Satan and you're an open devil worshiper. Well, I'm just saying, whoever you are, it doesn't matter. I'm just saying it's the same process for everybody. Whoever you are, whatever you've done in your life, I'm saying when you cross over, like when your body hits the ground and your spirit leaves, and you can look down at your dead body and you're like, holy shit, I'm dead. That might be a thing, but at the same time, then you start looking around. You start looking around, and the question is, are you a believer, or are you somebody that's aware and awake, because you've been following my page, and I've told you that while you've been alive in your human body, while you've been alive, living your entire life, I've told you you've only been aware of about 1% of this reality, as far as what your eyes can see. So your entire life, you've been blind to 99% of everything that's going on out there, right? So there's a whole lot of shit that could be going on all around you, and you would not even know it because your eyes can only see 1% of everything that's out there. So I'm saying the day you cross over, whoever you are, whether you are a saved soul or somebody that doesn't even, you're a non-believer and you die, and then all of a sudden reality melts, and then you're like, holy fuck, where am I, right? But at the same time, you could be somebody who sold out, you sold your soul, you pledged allegiance to the dark side, to Satan, right? Either way, everybody, when we cross over, all of a sudden, you are in that 99% reality, which means everything that's been going on around you that you've been blind to is suddenly visible to you, right? Suddenly even though it seems like you're in a different reality, you're still in the same reality. You're just operating from the spiritual, from the spirit, which means maybe you should start wondering what else is out there. You know, because I've told you about Heavenly Father, I've told you about archangels, I've told you about guardian angels, warrior angels, and then all different types of entities and things that belong to the heavenly side. And they're not necessarily angels, they're something else, but they're still on that side. And then you got demons, you got the fallen angels, you got Satan himself, and then a whole bunch of other scary things that they may have created or summoned or whatever. There's things that are just outright evil that are out there, but it's just operating from a different spectrum or frequency than what we're currently operating on. But should you die, all of a sudden you can see that shit. You're in it. Okay, so where are we going, Brandon? The title of this video is War. Okay, the title, you know, what are we going to be talking about in this video? War. Because essentially, after what happened this past Friday, you know, so today, I said today is March 21st. So what was that? March, oh my gosh, I can't even do math, man. March 14th? Yeah, March 14th. Yeah, there we go. March 14th, this last Friday. Same location. So, I mean, you can kind of, I have the camera kind of framed where you can kind of see out my window of my van, right? So you can see I'm parked in a forest right now, right? So in this exact same location where I was parked, last Friday, after it got dark, laying on my bed, you know, I'm just laying on my bed, it gets dark, all of a sudden, some vehicle comes in. I mean, there's a road over here, you know, so you can kind of see out this way, and there's a road that goes through the woods over just down this way, right? So I'm sitting here, and all of a sudden, some vehicle comes through really slow, and there's just this really bright fucking light that's just illuminating this entire area, okay? This entire area. And I'm like, what the fuck? You know, like, holy shit, like, this is something. So I'm just sitting in my van. That's when that type of stuff, it's happened before, so it's not like, you know, I'm describing this isn't something that's like a new thing, you know, because I've been in my van. I've told you guys some shit has gone down for these past 9 months. I've been in my van, you know, whether Wyoming, Oregon, Utah, Arizona, this entire 9 months, Friday nights are usually the time when this type of stuff happens. And because I'm always praying and I'm always listening, you know, I've told you, I've already sacrificed my life. It's already happened. I've already sacrificed my life, and I am entirely loyal to Heavenly Father and Heavenly Father's side. So I'm just letting everybody know now, whether, you know, if you know who I am, okay, I'm just letting you all know now which side I'm fully operating, you know, who I'm pledged to. So I'm just letting the dark side know that there's nothing you guys can do to fucking get me to doubt myself or get me to, you know, surrender to you guys or, you know, whatever. Come crawling back to anybody that's pledged to you. You know, if my own mom and dad, Jerry and Cindy, are pledged to the dark side, there's nothing, absolutely nothing that anybody can do to get me pulled back into that. I am full on pledged to Heavenly Father. I am 100% loyal to Heavenly Father, my real Father, not in this reality, but when I die and I cross over, my real Father, because I've announced who I am. That's who I'm pledged to and who I'm entirely obedient and loyal to. So I'm just saying, there are these bad guys over these past 9 months. They've made multiple attempts on my life. They've gone as far as shooting me with a fucking arrow. They've gone as far as trying to poison my dog. They've gone as far as trying to poison me. They've gone as far as shooting me in the fucking back over these past 9 months. I can count 15 separate attempts on my life while I've been in my van for the past 9 months. But that's not what we're talking about right now. I'm just letting you all know. So whoever you are, this video is essentially a briefing. So anybody who is on my side and you're pledged allegiance to Heavenly Father and myself, and we're all operating on the same team, which means we're a big fucking army. Everybody on our side, we're an army, right? We're a full-on army. We're not weaklings. We're not ignorant. We're not docile. You know, when you talk about the sheep, when you talk about Christianity and Christians are called sheep, you need to not take that as a derogative term. It's you just really don't. You got to put that term out of your mind. I mean, if you're on our side, like, you're not a sheep. Like, if you might have been a sheep when you were not aware, but now that you're aware, essentially, we're all becoming lions, man. Turning all of our sheep into lions, man. I'm empowering all of you so that you guys are no longer docile and timid. We're no longer being bullied by these guys, okay? So, again, the title of this is War. And when I was talking about where I'm at, I'm saying last Friday, March 14th, after it got dark, and I've said before in my prior videos that Fridays are kind of the night when things go down. If anything's ever going to go down, it's usually on Friday night, especially anytime if I'm not staying in town, wherever I'm at, if I'm not sleeping in town and I'm just out in the woods or BLM or out in the national forest and I'm just camping out in the woods alone, especially on a Friday night, that's when shit usually goes down and I can usually count on something fucked up or crazy happening. So I'm saying this last Friday, June 14th, as I was parked in this exact spot, so you can kind of, I don't want to spin my camera around because that's just time and I got to reset the tripod and all that shit, but I'm saying in this exact spot, so this big, I don't know, I didn't look because every time this stuff happens, my instructions, anytime shit fucking starts going off around me while I'm out in the woods, my instructions are literally to sit where I'm at on my bed and look forward or just close my eyes and listen and feel the energy. Any of this, because usually when this stuff happens, it's at nighttime. I always have my window, the visor over my window, so the front of my van's obscured, and sometimes I have a towel draped over. So essentially, I'm like in an enclosed space where only visibility I have is through like the little cracks. Like when I have my blinds all down, and I can only see through the little cracks. Just little spaces and stuff. So that's pretty much my entire visibility is like a little crack here, because if I'm laying right here, I can pretty much only see a little crack here, a little crack out my passenger front window, and then when I'm laying there, I can see out this way, right? Just through a little crack, just a, what's that, like 10 degrees? As far as a 90-degree angle, I can only see like 5 or 10 degrees looking that way. So my visibility is very limited. But I'm saying last Friday, I'm laying in the van, it's completely dark. All of a sudden, some vehicle comes down this road. I have no idea what type of vehicle, I didn't even look. But all of a sudden, there's this super bright light that's like illuminating the entire fucking forest, like as far as over here. And all of a sudden, like, I start listening to the energy. I tell you, I'm very sensitive and receptive to this high energy. And when shit starts going down, they can literally directly communicate with me like I have a fucking radio receiver in my brain. And I can literally hear them like somebody somewhere else is outright talking to me. Like they're using some advanced technology or something. But they have found, when I tell you all of us have our own biometric frequency, if they can find your biometric frequency, they can use a technology that tunes into your brain waves and they can literally communicate with you. I don't know anything about, I just know about the tech, I just don't know how they do it. But they can literally communicate with you like you have a fucking radio earpiece inside your brain and they can talk to you. And you can talk back to them. But the thing is, when they talk to you, their voice sounds just like your inner voice. So that's the thing, anybody that, if some of you might have already been exposed to this and you're already going, whether you're aware of it or you're encountering this type of frequencies, but you don't know what it is, you might associate it as your own thoughts, but all of a sudden your thoughts just keep going in these other directions and you're like, why am I thinking about this shit? How do you know it's your own thoughts? Maybe somebody's trying to get through to you. But I'm saying, this truck comes through, large heavy-duty vehicle comes through and starts illuminating this entire forest area. And all of a sudden, I'm hearing somebody talking to me, letting me know, Brandon, it's okay, like, stay calm. There's some shit going down right now, and we're letting you know we're not after you. Just observe and enjoy the show, because you know they're letting me know that night was. I'm gonna tell you about some things, but like just from the get-go, they just let me know, stay calm, Brandon. We're not here for you, but there is some danger right around you. Okay, you know, that's right thing first. So they're just telling me, stay calm, don't freak out. So I just, okay, I hear that, so I stay calm, but I'm at that point I'm very sensitive, just watching. Next thing I know, I can just looking out the corner of this little, you know, out my window, because my blind's down and I can only see through this. Over down that way, maybe 75 yards away, all of a sudden, I just start seeing the muzzle flashes of somebody opening up with an automatic rifle. I couldn't see anybody, and I was not just like, I saw it happening, and then the energy's telling me to look forward, just like, because that's part of, you know, what my situation and certain things about me and the danger level and stuff. My friends, as far as between my friends and I am entirely trying not to look when they're doing their thing, so that way they can literally have the freedom, like to literally they could literally surround my entire van as far as friendlies. And because I'm not looking and I'm not investigating or not, you know, anything, and they literally know I'm not trying to cheat and peek a look. And so my friends can literally have the freedom to come through this entire area while being as quiet as possible, so I can't really hear them, but, you know, sometimes things happen and it gets noisy. But I'm saying, I looked out over there, all of a sudden I saw somebody opening up with an automatic rifle, and because I could see the muzzle flash every time a bullet, you know, when you shoot, every bullet that comes out, there's a muzzle flash. So all of a sudden it's like flash, 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 like somebody's shooting this direction. And then all of a sudden I look forward, I'm like, holy shit, there's some people right out there. And the energy's like, yeah? Like, yeah, there's some fucking crazy stuff going on all around you right now, Brandon. So I'm like, oh my God. So some shit went down out there. And then, 15, 20 minutes later, there's a ridge over here. Somebody, you know, it was a little bit of a distance away, but somebody opened up with another rifle. They probably got off about 7 or 8 shots, and then it just went quiet. After that, it just got quiet. But that night, man, there was I heard a lot of jets flying over above me. But all around, you know, it was essentially like a full-on military operation that was going on around me last Friday. So, and then while all of that was going down, the entire time somebody was communicating with me, like full-on communicating with me. Like, so, like I said, if you have somebody that starts communicating with you with this type of technology or whatever it is, and they're trying to speak to you, I'm already aware of all this stuff, and it's taken time for me to kind of tune things in and get it all dialed in. Because essentially when there is somebody trying to speak to you with this type of technology, their voice sounds just like your voice, you know. So I mean, it literally identical, because you only have one, as far as your voice in your head, you only have like one tone of voice, you know. Your voice is your voice. It's a voice in your head, your consciousness, you, the real you know, like when you're not speaking and you're just thinking, you know, that voice in your head, it's always the same voice as far as the tone and how it sounds, right? But if you have somebody actually trying to use some type of technology where they can actually reach you through your thoughts, that voice sounds identical. And once you can make that connection, then it becomes this process of being able to separate yourself from that voice, where you can literally shut off, you can literally turn off your own thoughts, in the sense where, as if, like, just imagine if you're sitting with somebody and they're speaking to you, it's essentially where you kind of just shut off your own voice, and it's like you're just listening to them while they're speaking to you and explain stuff to you. And then, you know, and then they can stop talking, and then you can just, like, use your own voice. You can speak out loud, or you can just keep your mouth shut. Either way, they'll hear you. And so that's when you can respond back to whatever they're sharing with you. So if they're passing on information, they can ask you to just, you know, be quiet, and we only have a limited time. We're just going to fill you in about what's going on right now. And then once we're done, we'll let you know, and then you can respond as you want to. You can ask questions or anything, and then they can give it to you. But at the same time, you have to understand the dark side they might have this ability too. Okay, so they might have this ability too. So looking forward, I'm not talking about this last Friday, but just in general, if something like this happens to you and it's like you're getting hit by something that's not your own thoughts and it's like something's trying to talk to you, I'm letting you know there is a good side, and they have this, if you just think about like Heavenly Father and Satan, so there's two sides, right? And then there's you. So there's two sides and then there's you. So there's, Heavenly Father, and on that side, they have the ability to talk to you, just like I described, as far as reaching your inner thoughts. But at the same time, the dark side might have that same ability, as far as demons or the fallen angels or Satan himself. He can put that thoughts into you too. So I'm saying, when you become aware of this, if you start if you start getting targeted and you start getting barraged by demonic attacks, spiritual warfare, this 99%, like I said, you can only see 1% of reality. So you could have things around you that you literally can't see, but they could be within distance of you where they're speaking, and it's like almost like telepathy or whatever, and they can put bad thoughts in your brain, evil thoughts, wicked thoughts, disgusting thoughts, anything. They can even go into your brain, and they know everything about you as far as your memories and how the life you've lived. And they can pull out, if you're somebody who has guilt, there's bad things you may have done, they can find those things, and then they can try and exploit that to make you, start making bad choices or whatever. They can pull you down this darker and darker path simply by targeting you, extracting your bad memories, and then exploiting those in a way where they can kind of like take control over you because you're afraid. You're afraid of getting caught or anything. They can pull you that way. And if you don't have the ability to separate your, identify your own mind from that dark shit, they can literally just start accusing you of lies. They can take one mistake you've made and they can twist it and blow it all up into something that didn't even happen the way they're describing, and they can try and make you feel like you're not worthy of being over on this side. They can take anything about your life and make you feel like you are not worthy of even contemplating stepping on this side. And at the same time, if you are on this side can still target you to try and get you to doubt yourself, to turn away from your faith, to get, any mistakes that you may have made, but you turned to God and you were forgiven, and your past, God, Heavenly Father forgave you as far as, you are saved, you're a saved soul, you're transformed, and yeah, you might have made mistakes in the past, but that, as far as Heavenly Father on this side, you're entirely forgiven. Like, so long as you maintain your life as far as living the righteous life and being obedient to God, well, when you die, none of that you're not going to be held accountable for that stuff because you've been forgiven, right? But while you're still here, because this is spiritual warfare, if they find you, they can, and you start getting hit by these dark thoughts or these demonic thoughts or disgusting thoughts, or they're trying to pull up mistakes you made in the past, I'm saying you need to have the discernment to separate your own inner thoughts from that, and you need to develop a skill set to where you psychologically you learn how to block that out. You just, like, if you start encountering that, you have to be able to turn around and tell it to shut up, like, go away, shut up. And at the same time, you can turn around and be like, Heavenly Father, are you hearing me? You hearing this, Heavenly Father? I'm being attacked. And then you can talk to Heavenly Father and ask for help as far as getting that away from you. And he, between your guardian angels and them, they can help you shut that off. And as long as you're listening to them, there might be things that pop up, as far as your past. That's where you have to acknowledge it. Be like, yes, I know these things happen, but, I'm obedient. I'm on this side and stuff. So this is where you, for your own self, you can be going back and forth. And it's where you need to have the discernment. You have to be able to slow down if you're in where your mind's just going all over the place. If things are getting scary, right? So you need to be able to slow down, and sometimes when things are just chaotic, you just have to slow down, close your eyes, and pray, and listen. And when you're listening, that's when you need to really start dialing in your own thoughts. You need to take control of your own thoughts. And then while you have control of your own thoughts, is there any other noise around you? Is there any other noises, voices, or anything trying to break through your own barriers? And then once they break through your barriers, is it a malevolent voice, or is it something that's friendly? Is it something that's trying to help you, or is it something that's trying to bring you down? And if it's something that is trying to help you or trying to and make you aware of stuff, that's when you can become more receptive. And then that's when you can hear it out and listen. And then once, at some point, you will make that click. You will realize there is the good on this side, and they can communicate with you. And there's also the bad side. So at some point, you can literally block out the bad side. Anytime they try to get into your brain, however they do it, you can literally block it out. You might hear this little interference and stuff. You might hear a few words or here and there, like they're trying to get through your force field or barriers or whatever. But as long as you're like, no, I heard you, and then you double down on your force field, like no more, no, and you can block it out. But at the same time, you can lower your force field for this other side to where at some point you can literally just have direct communication with Heavenly Father, guardian angels, warrior angels, whoever it is that's on that communication relaying, when whoever it is you're speaking to, it might not be Heavenly Father. It might be one of his, one of the angels or somebody that's, everybody has their own task, job, assignment as far as this grand chessboard, this multi-dimensional chessboard. Well, as far as all the angels, whether warrior angels that are down on the ground or angels that are in the communications aspect, well, if, they got their orders from Heavenly Father, anybody that they can get through to, and then you dial in, well, once you get it dialed in, when they want to reach you, they can reach you, and all of a sudden you hear them, and all of a sudden you silence your mind, and then they start filling you in on what's going on. And then that's where they can, if you're scared, they can calm you down and let you know it's okay. If there's crazy shit happening around you, they can let you know, they can direct you and tell you where you need to go to get away from what's coming. If there's stuff going out there, they can literally guide you and tell you where you need to go to get to a safe spot or to some friendlies that are nearby, and then they can keep you safe and protect you. So this is stuff, if you are on my side and you're a full-on believer of Heavenly Father and Jesus Christ, I'm letting you know there's a war coming. Because with what happened this last Friday, right outside there, and then more gunshots later, well, after all of that went down and I'm just laying on my bed listening, well, because I've announced who I am. So, Heavenly Father knows who I am. Everybody, all the angels, they know who I am. So it's not anything about convincing them. They know who I am. But as far as you as the viewer, I'm wondering, have you figured it out yet? Are you still in denial? Are you someone who's still calling me crazy or you're turning around and telling people that I've gone off the fucking deep end? Like, if you think that I'm just a full-on schizophrenic crazy fuck, you're somebody that's on this side. So I don't care what you think. I really don't. If you think I'm a crazy person, I literally do not give a flying fuck what you think. So let's just nip that in the bud. So if anybody calls me crazy, I'll just fucking laugh at you, because as far as my perception, you're somebody who's full on asleep. You're somebody who is so psychologically asleep and a slave to this reality that while I'm speaking, there's everything I'm describing, these things are happening, it's all real. So while you're stuck in this state of denial, you're falling even deeper and deeper into this lower dimensional space where eventually you specifically will probably end up in hell. While everybody else who has woke up, those who are saved, everybody on the heavenly realm, we're about to come down. They're already here. The stage is already set, and it's all about to, it's just a matter of when Heavenly Father gives the green light. Once Heavenly Father gives the green light, it's going to be the sifting. The sifting begins, the sifting of the wheat from the tares. So essentially, there's going to be just this giant cleanse that happens. A giant cleanse where essentially, if you're a non-believer, if you're a non-believer, your believers are over here. If you're a non-believer and you're over here, whether you're just a non-believer, somebody who's just in outright denial of everything I've described and talked about out of 90 hours on my channel, you just think I'm a crazy fuck. Okay, you're on this side, I'm letting you know. And on your side are also, everybody on this side, you got the Satanists, full-on Satanists, people who have sold their souls and pledged allegiance to Satan. That's on this side too. So you have them, you have the non-believers. Okay, so they're both in the same side. And then you got the rapists, then you got the pedophiles, you got the murderers, you got all the thieves and robbers and all the worst of society. If you just think about the worst of society, you are all on the same fucking side. It doesn't matter who you are. It doesn't matter what sex you are. If you're a male or female, or if you're somebody who calls yourself something else, if you're somebody who goes with the proper pronouns and shit and you're stuck in that trap, oh my God. There's only two fucking sexes, male and female. Anything beyond that, you're fucking psychologically brainwashed and your mind has been hijacked by the dark side and you are stuck on this side until you wake the fuck up and see what's going on. I'm just saying, this side, Heavenly Father, myself, and then all the angels and angels, I'm letting you know they are very fucking angry with everything that's happened in this world. You know, just look at the corruption, the direction, everything's going right now. And then everything that's happened to me especially, man. I mean, everything that has been done to me during my lifetime and then all this fucked up stuff that I've endured over the last 7, 8, 9, 10 years. You know, and then as well as other things that happened in my teens and childhood and stuff. Well, if Heavenly Father's aware of all this stuff, I'm letting you know every person who's been involved with trying to hurt me, you know, and whatever, physically, spiritually, or psychologically you've been involved with that, I'm letting you know this side, they are very fucking angry. And I'm letting you know because of what happened this last Friday. Right outside my van, less than 70 yards away, there was a gunfight. Okay, and then there was more gunshots out that way. So I'm saying the cat is out of the bag. The cat is full on out of the bag. So this big secret, for, as far as my own life, as far as everything that's happened to me and why nobody's ever been willing to be honest with me, just this big secret, as far as those who have known about me, as far as the bad guys who have had me under their control for the majority of my lifetime, and they've had me psychologically brainwashed, manipulated, and under, dark manipulation, almost like witchcraft, sorcery, dark magic. They've had my mind hacked to where essentially the majority of my life I was under their control, and I had no idea about any of this stuff I've described. Everything I've shared on my channel, I was unaware of all of it. It wasn't until after DMT and then getting away from Dan and, between DMT, mushrooms, and then just experiencing all this stuff and surviving, all of it combined, I woke up. I woke up and I found the truth. And I found the truth, and once I found the truth, that's when things around me starts getting scary, because the bad guys, they don't want me to wake up. The good guys, they want me to wake up. So they're both sides are fighting over me. And then for a while, I was pledged allegiance to nobody. I was just free roaming. I woke up like, oh my God, where am I? Because I broke free from the dark magic and shit. But essentially, and then I was given access to know what's over here, but at the same time, there's so much left that I had to experience and learn before I could fully come to myself. As far as finding my power and who I am and what I'm capable of and all this stuff. Even though I broke free from this, I wasn't. I still had a lot of work to do to get myself as far as maturing and getting myself in alignment, and they announced themselves and let me know they're here and that they're fighting for me. And so for like 7 years, I was put through the ringer, my own trials and tribulations, 7 years where both sides are fighting over me. And at the same time, because I still had a lot of work to do, I didn't necessarily have earned my ticket home yet, because there's a lot I had to prove my loyalty. I had to prove myself while I'm down here undergoing these 7 years of crazy shit. But I'm saying I found myself, and then, this big fight over me. There was a period of time where nobody really knew what was going to happen, because I was free roaming. I could go any direction. I could literally, if I ended up dying and I didn't know what I needed to know, I hadn't found what I needed to find as I have now, I could literally, if I got murdered, I would just level this entire earth and everybody dies. Good and bad. Everybody just gets outright annihilated, and then this loop starts over entirely, because Heavenly Father, It just happened, and because Heavenly Father doesn't want everything to be destroyed and there's all these good people, well, essentially, reality gets destroyed and then it gets recreated and the fucking loop restarts. So everybody who's here, we're all in the fucking nightmare together again, and so we have to go through the whole process again and again. So if you look in the Bible or you've heard about all these biblical catastrophes and cataclysms that has happened over these hundreds or thousands of years where, entire civilizations and large chunks of the world have been outright destroyed. Well, it's just because of things that happened that got entirely out of control. Maybe on my account, maybe, I don't know, but things in the past where I was down here in a different lifetime, shit just got out of control and the entire world just got destroyed. And then since then, it's been rebuilt, and this is the reality we have now in 2025. And I'm letting you know, all of you know, whether you're on the bad side or the good side, I have broken free from the dark shit that they had me under. I have broken free from the loop. So, I became aware of the reincarnation loop. So I broke free from that. And then I've encountered all types of spiritual attacks from Satan himself and his high-ranking, the fallen angels. I've been fucking attacked by these guys. Bad shit. I can't even describe it on camera how fucked up some of the stuff is that I've encountered, especially these past 9 months. But they haven't got me. I'm still here, right? And as such, I have proven myself to this other side. Heavenly Father and the guardian angels, warrior angels, I have proven my loyalty to them, and they all know who I am, and they have acknowledged me for what I have accomplished. So I'm saying this last Friday night, after all that shit went down, all that shit went down out here, while I'm laying on my bed and I have somebody talking to me, they're letting me know that I'm, as far as warfare, as far as just war, just think about war in general. You don't have to think about now in 2025. You can think about war in the past as far as medieval times, during the Roman times, anytime, as far as large-scale warfare, where you have full-on militaries deploying around the world. I was told this last Friday that I'm the fucking commander on the battlefield. Heavenly Father's out there, and he's like the bird's eye view on the ground. He's the grand overseer, but I'm his number 2. I'm the fucking, number 1 Heavenly Father, my Father, and I'm number 2. And I'm down here on the ground, meaning I'm the commander on the fucking battlefield. So when I give orders, these things are going to happen, But at the same time, we're in this game right now where I'm in my van with my dog. And essentially everybody, as far as friendlies, all of my friendlies, as far as this game, I cannot see them. I literally can't. I cannot see them. If they're around here, I can't see them. Heavenly Father has done something to filter that out of my vision. So even if you can see them, I can't see them. My friends are literally fucking invisible to me, just so I cannot spoil the game. So everybody who is on the bad side, you might not be able to see them too. And so every time I'm talking about my friends and you're looking around, be like, Brandon, you don't have any friends, bro. Look at your fucking Instagram account. You only have 5 or 6 followers. Look at your view counts, and if people are just looking at my social media and you're judging whether or not I have friends based off my Instagram or my YouTube, and you're like, well, Brandon, you only got like 20 views on some of your videos. You only got like 50 views on other videos. You have no comments, maybe 1 or 2 likes. And then other than that, you don't have friends, Brandon. And so I'm telling you, that's a fucking trap for all of you. All of you who think that I'm just a loser who has no friends and I'm just a crazy fuck, you are under a very strong delusion that Heavenly Father has put you under. Just because of the bad shit you've done, you're blocked out. It's like you have a door that is, like, you're locked out of certain frequencies, wavelengths and things, so you're literally just blocked out. And so everything I'm describing, you have no access to it, like access fucking denied. So wherever you're at in your own mind and whatever you do have access to, I'm letting you know there's a whole bunch of other layers of reality that you are blocked out from just because of who you are and what you've done. And so when you turn around and look at me and claim I have no friends, I fucking laugh at you because I have more friends than you can fucking fathom. I just, because of the game of what's going on right now, they're all, and I understand. I understand I'm not alone, but I have my doggy, I have Malaki, and I just understand I just have to be patient and play the game. because the entire chessboard is moving, and I've been acknowledged as the king on the chessboard. Yeah, you got Heavenly Father out there. He's the grand overseer, master tactician, and he can see all these things, and he's aware of fucking everything between what he's directly aware of and also what the news and you know, intelligence that gets brought to him by the archangels and warrior angels and anybody else that's on our side that's down on the ground gathering intel. Well, they just send that his way, and he becomes aware of everything as it's happening live. And then he can you know, communicate with whoever, and because it's a giant army, and if you think about military tactics, when you're in warfare and you're part of a military, your opinions and all that stuff kind of just goes out the window. It's like if you've pledged, you know, if you're in any military and you pledge yourself to that military, you follow the orders. You don't get to say, no, I'm not going to do that, and you watch half of your platoon. You know, like if you're in the military, you don't just get to decide what assignments and orders and missions you get to go on and which ones you don't want to get to go on. Like, no, you sign in, you're going whether you like it or not. And so I'm saying, as far as this grand game, I know my role. I mean, I know my position. I'm the communications aspect, you know. Heavenly Father speaks to me and lets me know, and then I turn around and share stuff with you guys. So whoever you are, if you're on Heavenly Father's side, you're on Team Jesus, you know you're one of our guys, right? You're on our side. Well, this is like a briefing, you know. If you have like a military briefing, or if you're in law enforcement and you have your morning briefing or your weekly briefing with all your fellow officers, and you know, you got your chief of police that comes in and starts giving you all a briefing as far as what's going on. Okay, you can understand the concept. And I'm just announcing myself, because if I was not who I said I was, you know, I announced myself back in the family circus. I announced myself multiple times saying who I am. And if I was not who I say I was, well, Heavenly Father could have stopped me in my tracks. So all of you, if I was a faker or an imposter, Heavenly Father would have taken me out, and all of you would have seen me fall and die or get locked up or whatever, or just disappear, you know, and be like, see, he's not who he says he is or whatever, because, you know, but I'm still here, okay? So I'm saying it's at some point, if you're somebody in denial, at some point you got to put aside your denial, because if you want to go to heaven, you're going to have to see me for who I claim to be and be able to separate your flesh from your spirit. Don't get tricked by my fucking avatar and what I look like or what you think you know about me. You need to start looking at who I am on the inside and reading my energy and hearing my words and just using your discernment. And does this feel like I'm being honest with you? I mean, does it feel like I'm deceiving you the way I'm speaking, or can you just get over this denial aspect and just accept the fact I am who I say I am? And right now, everybody who is on our side, this is like a briefing. You're getting your briefing right now, and I'm as this video proceeds forward, I'm going to be letting you know what's coming down the pipe and how you can prepare for it. Okay, this is me letting you know Heavenly Father is getting very close to giving the green light. I mean, I've already announced that I'm ready. You know, Heavenly Father's asked me, Brandon, are you ready? You know, all this time that's passed, well, I've proven myself, I've proven my loyalty and all this stuff. And then it's, you know, after all these things that happen, it's like, Brandon, are you ready? I'm like, yes, I'm ready. And so essentially when I say I'm ready, that's me giving the green light to Heavenly Father. It says, yes, I'm ready. So now Heavenly Father, that's where he turns and he starts coordinating with everybody else. Everybody's becoming aware. Brandon's ready to go. He's aware of who he is. He's stepped into his power. He's on our side. So if Heavenly Father turns around and gives me all types of magic powers and all of a sudden I can do things that nobody else can do, everybody who's on our side, they don't have to freak out. That's the big key part. If you're on Heavenly Father's side, you believe in Jesus and all this side, if Heavenly Father just somehow gives me powers or something and all of a sudden I can do stuff that nobody else can do, with exception to Heavenly Father, well, that's going to scare a lot of people. It's going to scare a lot of fucking people, I promise you. Because you guys have seen how scary I can be. And at the same time, you know, I've done everything in my power to assure you guys and make you guys feel confident with me by proving myself over these past 9 months and these past 7 years by, maintaining course as I have. Everything on my channel, you know, by being willing to step in front of the camera and put my life on the line by speaking this stuff, as well as going out into the woods on Friday nights and putting myself in a very vulnerable position where anybody could show up and do something to me. And, so I put myself out in the woods as the bait, and then I make my prayer, Heavenly Father, protect me. And then when things start happening, all of a sudden, my friends roll on in out of any different direction. They just show up. I don't even know where from. They just show up, and they take care of it. And then the bad guys disappear, and then my friends leave. And then at some point, it gets, because it's dark, at some point, communication stops, and then I go to sleep, and I wake up the next morning, and I'm told to just continue, Brandon. Keep going. Good job. We got some, we caught some bad guys, So it's like this last Friday night, I have no idea how many bad guys were out there. I have no idea who they were, or how many of them showed up, or what type of weaponry or shit that they were packing around. But the communication, as far as whoever it was that was speaking to me, they let me know that every single one of them got captured. Either captured or fucking, exterminated. All of them. Every single one of them are now gone as far as what's been communicated with me. But I have no way to actually know what's been going on. Maybe some people got away, but not, I don't know. But specifically the people that showed up, especially right around my vehicle, they got taken care of. And I'm just saying, if you're one of the bad guys and you're watching my videos and you're somebody that was part of that, you're somebody who financed it, because whoever showed up, every single one of them probably had to be paid. They had their price as far as how much, whether you had to pay each one of them $1 million fucking dollars to risk for them to, if they're bad guys, for them to be willing to come out here and risk their own lives to try and either murder me or try taking me alive. Every single person that would agree to that, because of these past 9 months that nobody's, all these other murder attempts that have not succeeded, well, the price probably continues going up every single attempt because all of these other attempts failed, and anybody that's aware of that, well, that's a thing where who is aware of it, well, that gets a little scary for the next person who's going to make an attempt, and so that probably gets pretty expensive. So not only do you have, I have no idea what these people's prices were, but if you're going to hire professional assassins or hitmen, and they're going to come in and try and take care of me, well, every single one of them probably has a pretty hefty price. So that's expensive by itself, just to buy people that would be willing to put their life on the line. Next, you got to turn around and outfit them with the most advanced technology, weaponry, and ghillie suits or concealment to be able to try to be able to get to me without getting detected or caught by my friends. Because if they are aware of my friends, that just adds another element to the game where I'm not such an easy target. You can't just come up to me and capture me because I got friends around me that you guys can't see. Which means whatever you come in with, you probably need all types of very expensive technology, weaponry, and gadgets and stuff to be able to monitor and scan the area just to see if I actually do have friends around or not. So I'm saying whoever it was that showed up this last Friday, whatever equipment, communications devices, technology, weaponry, anything they had, it's ours now. So I'm just saying, any of you guys, the investors, the people who financed all of this, not only did you just waste your fucking money, but everything that, all the people you sent, everything they had is now ours. And then my friends, they can just turn around and start dissecting this stuff. And, any communications devices, all they got to do is start figuring out, following these tethers and finding out who all is involved. Okay, so this is the direction we're going when I'm telling you the cat is out of the bag. The cat's out of the bag, the secret's out. There's no more even trying to even have a secret anymore. Those of you who do know about me, well, it's at some point, maybe Heavenly Father himself or somebody else who's part of Heavenly Father's team, my team, our team, at some point they'll probably reveal themselves and then they're just gonna pull me in. And the next thing you know, I just disappear. Next thing you know, I'm with them. And the only time you'll ever fucking see me again is probably when I speak on camera. Because beyond that, if you just think about battle tactics and military tactics and warfare, well, me being out and as I am, that's a very dangerous thing. If I'm the commander on the battlefield, they're probably going to want to take me into a secure location where, and then they can fill me in on everything, update me, give me my own briefing, fill me in on the big scale situation. And then that's when Heavenly Father might just turn around and give me my powers and then I'm set loose. Not only am I set loose, but I have the entire legion behind me as far as military, Heavenly Father's military, the real deal military, whatever other militaries out there, if you're not part of Heavenly Father's military, whoever the fuck you are, you're going to get outright annihilated. Just outright, just leveled, and whatever you got, you're going to lose it all. All of you, every single one of you who's part of this bad side, all of you are about to lose everything. And then everybody who's on this side, we're gonna inherit the earth. I'm just letting you know. Bible prophecy. The meek shall inherit the earth. Right? Those who have sacrificed and fought, those who didn't compromise and sell their soul for fucking a little bit of money, a little bit of material pleasure, a little bit of power, a little bit of fame or fortune, you know, a little artificial authority here and there. Anybody who sold out, you willingly made a conscious deal, maybe a ritual sacrifice, maybe you sold out somebody from your family, you know, and then they got murdered, and then the next thing you know, you got a whole bunch of money, or you got this really good job, and next thing you know, you're making bank. Whatever. Anybody that's on this side, all of you are about to get sifted. You're all about to get outright collected. And you're going to be removed from this entire equation. As far as this earth, here in this reality, the sifting is about to begin. I don't know the day. I don't know when. But the cat is out of the bag, and the fact that I've been given the green light to speak about this on camera. So by the time this does hit YouTube in maybe 3 or 4 or 5 days, well, my friends, they're going to have all the time to just have everything prepared, and it's just a matter of Heavenly Father giving that green light. You know, it's like, okay, you guys, and go. The next thing you know, it could be like martial law. You know, just literally full-on martial law. As far as the United States, I can't tell you what's going to happen around the world, but it's probably going to be a worldwide thing. You know, because Heavenly Father, we're talking about, you know, we're not just talking about one place. Heavenly Father, it's going to be biblical, like worldwide. There's going to be the sifting, and it could, and as far as what you see, it might just look like military or law enforcement rolling down the streets. It might not even, you might not see angels with wings and stuff flying around. It's just going to look like military, or you're going to see like, you know, military vehicles and law enforcement vehicles rolling down the streets, and that's everything will essentially be declared like martial law. But the thing is, it's not going to be like what many people think it is, as far as the New World Order agenda and the Antichrist and then they're taking over. No, I'm saying because I have survived, and because I am aware now, and because my friends have communicated with me as far as who I am, and I'm the commander on the battlefield, and because I'm pledged to Heavenly Father, and I did not pledge to the satanic forces, this whole New World Order agenda, the Illuminati pyramid, all of that's just going to fucking collapse and just get dissolved. So everybody who's part of that willingly sold out, I'm saying Heavenly Father's army, the green light is about to be given. I mean, just, can you feel the energy? I mean, just look around the world right now at all the crazy shit happening. Like, there's something about to happen. Okay, something big, and yes, there is something big. And I'm saying something, like the sifting is about to begin. And so I'm saying it from the highest levels, as far as, I'm just going to be focused on the United States, but big scale too, worldwide. But I'm just focused on the United States because that's the only place I've been. I've never even been to another country, right? So I'm saying from the highest levels, as far as like Washington, D.C., all the politicians within Washington, D.C., including, the presidential level, Congress, senators, legislators, everybody on that high level, and then everything under that, as far as federal agencies, state agencies, local agencies, and then when you start talking about just like society, it has nothing, society, nothing to do with the government itself, but just society and everything within society. All of the corruption, anybody that is pledged allegiance to this side, even on the presidential level, I'm saying something significant might happen where every single guilty person, if they have not confessed and pledged themselves to this side, they have not confessed and repented, every single one of them are going to be removed. They're all going to get collected, and they're all going to get put in their own little holes, and they're all, judgment day. If you're guilty, you get sent away. You get sent to prison. Anybody that has committed some very serious fucking crimes, as far as really bad crimes, things that Heavenly Father would be like, no. Especially pedophilia, rape, human trafficking, child trafficking, that type of stuff. If you've been involved with that and you've destroyed little children's lives and the lives of women, the lives of men, you've destroyed entire family units by kidnapping people and sending them into the trafficking. If you're part of that, as far as being a trafficker, Heavenly Father and this entire legion, we're gonna come and remove you guys. All of you, Every single one of you are going to fucking get annihilated. So I'm saying at some point in the near future, do not be surprised if, like in the United States, if something big happens. Maybe the first thing, maybe the electric grid just goes out for whatever reason. But I'm saying something happens and everything, all your services just stop. And then once the services stop, the next thing you know, it's just going to be, there's going to be military and law enforcement just coming out of the woodworks. All these underground military bases that are around the United States, you have no idea how many soldiers are under there. You have no idea the fucking arsenal and weaponry and vehicles that they have as far as their surplus. How many total vehicles do they have that they've just been, you know, building and putting together and assembling, just stockpiling up for the big day. All of a sudden, military just comes out of their underground bunkers. You've got military aircraft flying everywhere. And this is when you're going to have military just rolling every single city. They're going to be going from block to block, house to house, building to building. And they'll just outright, if you are not a saved person, you are not marked by Heavenly Father, the military will full on come into your house and put you in handcuffs. They will outright, they're going to detain you. If you fight, they'll fucking just shoot you. If you surrender, they'll go load you into a bus, and if you are guilty of crimes, they're going to take you to a prison. You're going to go into a hole, okay? If you're not guilty of crimes, but you're a non-believer, if you're just a non-believer but you're not guilty of some fucked up stuff, every single one of you will be given an opportunity to find out what is this big scale thing. You will be told what's been going on. You might be directed towards my YouTube channel and forced to watch every single video of my channel. And while you're watching all of my videos, 90 hours or more, your thoughts are going to be monitored the entire time. And as your thoughts are getting monitored, those who are monitoring your thoughts, depending on how you respond to the information that you're listening to and what you're absorbing, if you become a believer, like you just watch this and you're like, holy shit, I was under a spell. Oh my God, I was brainwashed this whole time. Oh my God, I was lied to this whole time. You know, just by watching my video, by the end of it, your mind breaks free and you're no longer trapped. And at the same time, because this whole operation just went down, the people who are monitoring you, that's when they come forward and they just let you know, yes, this big crazy thing just went down. We actually just saved your life. So while you've been detained in this place and we've been having you watch these videos so you can become aware, while this has been happening, all the guilty people that are out in this world, by the time, you know, these people who are being, you know, they were detained essentially for their own safety. They got everything, everybody was kind of just pulled away. You know, everybody who was marked as a neutral person, you know, you weren't the guilty person, but you're also not a saved person. All of you are going to be given an opportunity to find out the truth. And depending on how you respond to the truth, if you just wake up and you're like, oh my God, this all just happened, I've been trapped this whole time and I didn't know it. It's like, yes, you've had dark magic on you and now you're set free. And because you're on board with what happened and you're a believer in Heavenly Father and Jesus, because we're monitoring your thoughts as you're watching the videos, we saw the moment you woke up and you're like, oh my God. And then at that point, if you get on that side, you'll just be let go. And then by the time you get let go, this world will be a different place. Every single guilty person, as far as the criminals that were involved with this that pledged allegiance, all of them, they're all going to either get outright fucking murked. You're going to have military come through with your Apache gunships, Cobras, you know, full-on military helicopters armed with Hellfire rockets. You know, you got full-on 30mm cannons and stuff. Just, you know, you can't even see them. They're in the distance, and they're just going to destroy anybody. If you're marked as a bad guy, they'll blow you up with a fucking rocket. You're gonna have precision airstrikes with Air Force flying over with full-on military jets that are going to be bombing different areas of the country. And everything that's getting bombed, it's a bad guy. It's something affiliated with the bad guy, and that's what it is. So everybody who is on our side, you're going to see some really scary shit take place in the near future. It's going to be full-on warfare in the United States. It might look like a civil war, but I'm just letting you know it's Heavenly Father's army. Heavenly Father's, it's the sifting. It has nothing to do with, it's not going to have anything to do with a civil war in the sense of like Republicans and Democrats fighting each other. That's not what it's going to be. And then as far as World War III, it's not going to be all these countries like fighting each other. It's going to be a worldwide cleanse. Everybody who's guilty and that has pledged to Satan, even if they're not in the United States, you got Mexico, you got Canada, you got Central America and South America, you got the entire Europe, Eastern Europe, you got Africa and Asia, Australia. This is a worldwide thing. And that's, I mean, just look at the world as it is. The entire world is hijacked and corrupt and compromised by the same people who are trying to roll out the same satanic New World Order agenda. So this is a worldwide thing. Everybody who's connected to the web after all this time has been passing on, every single person has been getting identified and marked. You're either marked as a saved person, or you're marked as one of the guilty people, or you're marked as just like a neutral person who's just kind of, you just don't know because you've never had access to the information. Or the information you've only had access to is just bits and pieces of the truth, and you never even had an opportunity to find out what was actually going on. So anybody that's in this middle area, so long as you don't fight, you know, say this big wave of Heavenly Father's army comes through and they find you, so long as you don't run away, I mean, you might run away, but so long as you don't start shooting at them, you don't shoot at them, you don't fight them, and you just allow them, you know, get in the van or get in the fucking bus and we're taking you somewhere safe, because if you don't get in the bus, if you fight us, we're going to shoot you and you're dead. But if you won't get in the bus and you... It's like one of these things. If this big wave comes through and they're trying to get you to get in the bus because they want to take you to safety and give you an opportunity to find out what's going on, but you just take off running. If you take off running and if they just, you know, they can't get you. They can't get you to slow down. Be like, bro, we're trying to help you, but you won't. You just take off running, right? I'm saying, well, the military, they're going to be cleansing. It's a big cleanse. So all the good people, if you're somebody who's marked as a saved person, when I told you about these voices that might be able to communicate with you. So I'm saying before Heavenly Father gives that green light to, commence this big thing, this big cleanse, before that happens, because this technology is available, where if you are a saved soul, my friends, they have your biometric frequency identified and located, where all of a sudden you might be going about your day, and then all of a sudden you're getting this energy that's just hitting you, and you can identify it as not your own voice, and then this voice is telling you that it's about to start and that you need to be directed to safety. They might just, like, it's almost like having a radio receiver in your brain where you can hear them, and they're telling you it's about to start. You have X amount of time, which means you either need to go straight to your house, grab your essentials, just whatever you want as your essentials. If you have a family, if you have your family, if this voice tells you go get your entire family, go get your entire family. But if this voice tells you to just go to this location, then you just skip everything else. So everybody's going to have their own unique thing. But if you're marked as a saved person and this voice is telling you to go somewhere by X amount of time, you have 2 hours to get here, or just get here within this time because this is about to go down. This is where essentially you just stop everything that you're doing. And if the voice tells you that you can go to your home and get anything as far as your property or your pets or anything, you can go do that, right? And then once you do that, the voice will tell you exactly where to go. And then once you get there, it'll probably be some type of fortified location that's entirely, it might be underground. I don't know what it will be, but you will be directed to some fortified location where you, potentially your family and your pets and all that stuff, are allowed to stay there for a period of time. It's not like you're not being sent to prison, none of that type of stuff. It's for your safety, because if you do not do it, there is a chance you're going to get pulled into the nightmare. Because all the saved people, kind of like the rapture, you're going to, you might have something communicate with you, let you know exactly where to go, where all of a sudden somebody shows up and you just know it's a friendly or it's somebody from God or an angel, and they're telling you to get in. So you get in, and then all they do is just take you to a safe location and drop you off. They let you know what's going on, and just to stay calm, it's okay. And then they might drop you off, and then they go right back out in the field and go after other saved people to go collect them. And all of a sudden, all these good people just disappear from under everybody's noses. You don't even realize it because nobody else is on this frequency. Anybody who is saved, you will get the call in your brain. It will be one of those things. And if you're just not able to get it, well, that's when somebody will show up and they'll just collect you. And the next thing you know, a whole bunch of saved people just disappear. And nobody else is going to even have any idea what's going on. They're not even going to know. For all they know, whoever, if you're a friend of somebody who's saved and they just tell you that they're going somewhere real quick and you see them get in their car and drive off, well, you don't even have any idea. Something just communicated with them and told them to go to a location, and then next thing you know, you never see them again. And it's not like something bad happened to them. No, they're put in a secure location, because once all the safe people are rounded up and they're all put in a safe location, as many as possible, every single one of them, right? The next thing you know, Heavenly Father gives that green light. He's like, okay, go ahead, military and law enforcement. Here's your orders. You know where all the guilty here's your list of all the guilty people. These are people that are marked for termination, or if you can take them alive, yes, certain people will be marked for incarceration. So certain bad guys will be marked as detain them alive, take them alive. Other individuals, like nobodies, you're just a fucking minion and there's nothing about you that Heavenly Father wants from you, or there's nothing here in this earth that he even wants to keep you around. Well, the military, they will have your name, a picture of you. They'll know exactly where you are when this goes down, just because of the technologies that's out there. Doesn't matter where you go. There's just this giant thing where it's like this. It's essentially the Heavenly Father's communications command center. It's like they have this giant 3D grid of the entire Earth, and they can zoom. I mean, just imagine like this table, this giant fucking table that's like a hologram, and the entire Earth has been mapped out. So as far as the frequencies and vibrations and the topography and elevations of all the land, everything has been mapped out on this holographic table, and you can zoom in on it as much as you want, or you can close in on it, so you're getting just this big scale. But every living person on this reality, you can monitor them from this table. They can zoom in down to the city streets, down into the forest. Like where I'm at, they could zoom in all the way onto my vehicle. And at the same time, it's like this entire forest. They can see every person who's in this forest as they're going about their time. Whether it's somebody connected to this, or it's just a neutral person just enjoying their time in the woods with their dog. From this table, this hologram table in this, on Heavenly Father's side, they can see every living person on Earth, and every person, you can click on them and find out who they are, and every single person is marked as red, blue, or a gray or something, like a different color. There's a color for hostile, there's a color for friendly, and then there's a color for like a neutral person. So I'm saying, when I'm parked in the woods, and if I have bad guys creeping through the woods, they go park their vehicle like 3 or 4 miles away, and then they start, like you're going hunting, like you're hunting game. So they're all wearing camouflage and they got all their stuff, and so they go on a 3 or 4 mile hike through the woods. They know where I'm at. And they think they're being sneaky, right? They think they're being sneaky coming through the woods, and they don't see anybody. There's no reason to even have any suspicion that anybody would know that they're out there, right? But I'm saying, in this location that people have no idea about, there are people, as far as military intelligence, they have access to a table or whatever it is, but it's like the entire Earth is like a hologram where they can zoom in and they can monitor everybody. So as they see my video, if you just use your imagination, like imagine if you're looking at this holographic table and you can see I'm in the woods. So on this hologram table, you can see all the trees, like they're kind of like sticking up off the table, because it's a hologram. So you got it's like a multi-dimensional 3D table where everything can pop up and down. And so Heavenly Father, like a bird's eye view, and everybody in the communications, they can watch you guys. They see these red dots. Or figures moving through the woods and the trees, and they can see you guys closing in on me. And once you reach a certain proximity, that's when, my friends, they know exactly where you're at, so they can position themselves completely away from you. But as soon as you come within proximity, that's when they show up, and they know exactly where you are. So even if you're wearing a fucking ghillie suit and you hear their vehicle coming up and it's completely dark out, and you just lay down on the ground and don't fucking move, or you hide behind a tree and the truck rolls in with a bright light and you're hiding on the other side of the tree in the shade, they might just be fucking with you. They just outright know where you're at, and they showed up for a reason, and they're psychological terror. They know where you're at, and you don't know if they know where you're at. So you're standing there thinking you're hiding, and then they're essentially just closing in on you, just waiting to get in position where they can see you. And if you just stand there thinking you're hidden, if you just pretend, you just don't move, you're closing in on my van, and you're about to fucking come murder me or whatever, try kidnapping me, but you're out there, you are about to get to me, and my friends roll up. They know exactly where you're at because they can see you on their own technology. They can see exactly where you're at on this hologram grid. So even if you're laying there hiding, well, my friends might just drive to where they can literally see you, and while you're sitting there thinking you're hiding, they just have somebody that rolls down the gun, pop, just shoots you one time, one bullet in your head while you think that they don't know where you're at. All of a sudden, you just fucking take a bullet. But at the same time, you guys are catching on that my friends know where you're at. Because all these failed attempts, many of you, as far as the bad side, they're starting to realize if you get close with him, Brandon, his friends are gonna show up. So if you're gonna try it, you gotta move quick. You gotta move very fucking quick. You can't take your time, because my friends will take care of you. So it's this thing where was I gonna go next? But yeah, I mean, with what happened last week, that vehicle that rolled through and entirely illuminated the forest with that bright light, and then all of a sudden somebody over there, I could literally see the muzzle flashes of their rifle. They might have been shooting at each other, but whatever my friends got, they're fucking invincible. I mean, if you're on part of Heavenly Father's side, well, you're literally, if you're part of his angels, guardian angels, warrior angels, you literally work for Heavenly Father. Well, all of them are literally invincible, so you can't even kill them. So they roll up on you and they illuminate you with a fucking light, and you're standing there like a naked person, like fully exposed. I mean, it doesn't matter if you're armed to the teeth. Even if you get some shots off at them, you're not gonna hurt them at all. You can't even touch them. It's like they have their own force field. So I'm saying, as we're looking forward, if you're somebody who's saved and all of a sudden, I don't know when this will go down. It could happen any time. But if you're going about your day and all of a sudden there's something in your head, some voice that just pops up in your brain, like you're on a radio and they're trying to communicate with you and they're directing you somewhere, you should probably go. Don't question. I mean, yeah, you can ask questions. Just make sure. You gotta make sure. You're like, am I hallucinating? Like, what is this? And they're like, no, you're not. They're gonna be able to hear your thoughts, and then you're like, and you think you're hallucinating. They're like, no, you're not hallucinating. Listen to us. There's some shit about to go down. We need you to go here, because if you don't go here, we're gonna have to send somebody to come get you, and we're busy. So just because you can, just go to this place and you'll be secured and safe. You'll have all the food and everything you need. You'll have everything you need while you're here. And then once all the good people, you get there. Well, I'm saying then the military gets the green light, and then they just start popping up from everywhere. Full-on military convoys, Air Force, Navy, Army, all Marines. Who knows, man? I have no idea who all's involved, but it might be the full-on military that just comes door to door, house to house, building to building, every single community in the United States. Every community and major city. If you are marked as somebody who is guilty and you are a criminal, you'll either be marked as somebody who's going to be taken alive, and if you get taken alive, you're going to be getting put in a fucking hole, essentially like a prison sentence. You're going to be given a life in prison. So if you get captured alive, they're gonna take you and put you in a hole somewhere, and you're gonna spend the rest of your life thinking about your choices that you made, and then when you die, you go to hell, right? You go straight into hell after you die. And then there's other people, you're just going to be marked as termination. So once military comes rolling through and they find you and identify you, they'll just fucking put a bullet in your head. And then they'll just have, then other people come through and they collect the bodies. So it's a really clean, try to keep it as clean as possible. So, that way we don't have diseases and nasty shit all over. But essentially, you're going to have the death squads that come through, and they're just going to fucking outright murk all the Satanists. Everybody pledged to Satan, you're going to get outright annihilated. They're going to fucking put you down. Put you down or capture you and take you to a hole, and then you spend the rest of your life in prison. All of your friends and family, you never see them again. If you have children, you never see your children again. If you're any one of you that's part of this and you're not marked as a saved soul, you're done. You're done. You guys have had your opportunity all this time. People that have been trying to murder me while I've been in my van for the past 9 months. All this time that I've been pointing at Dan and Kelly and Jerry and all these people. Well, this is where everybody who is part of that disgusting shit, doesn't matter what they tell me. I don't care if I have physical proof in my hands to actually point my finger at anybody. It doesn't matter, because Heavenly Father and all of them, they have all of that. They are on top of all of that. I don't have to worry about a damn thing in the context of prove it, Brandon. I don't have to. You'll find out. Just let you know, I don't have to prove shit. If you can't read my energy, if everything I've shared isn't really clicking with you and you're just be like, oh my God, Brandon's just a crazy person. He has gone off the deep end. We need to call the police and have somebody come pick him up and take him to a state hospital. If that's what you think right now, like, bro, if that's what you think, you might be one of the people that are about to get fucking terminated. Anybody that you think I'm out of my mind, I'm letting you know everything I'm sharing with you has essentially been shared with me. I'm just relaying what was shared with me with these frequencies and things that I'm tapped into. I mean, again, I've told you, it's already happened. The event is already come and pass. I've already sacrificed my life. So therefore, because I've sacrificed my life for this side, I have been compensated with all types of gifts and rewards as far as things that I have access to, the knowledge that I have access to, the information I'm being allowed to know about, these being tapped into these frequencies where they can reach me when they need to. I have proven myself as far as my loyalty and my obedience to Heavenly Father that I am somebody that He can full on trust. My Heavenly Father, the number one, He trusts me as His number two, where at some point in time, Heavenly Father trusts me so much that He can just go retire and go live His life and just enjoy this amazing reality that's out there while fully knowing that He can trust me to handle things without Him worrying about me turning on Him and then just making things awful. I mean, it's, if He ever does retire, well, and I become, all of a sudden I'm in charge of everything. Well, it's not all of a sudden I'm going to just disregard Him and He's gone and then this reality becomes exactly what I want. Like, no, He's always going to be around. Anything I do, anything that's not correct, well, all you got to do is show up and let me know. Like, Brandon, we don't want to go this direction. I'll be like, okay. All you got to tell me, we don't want to go this direction because this might happen, or this is people are being directed this way. We just don't want that because it's not. All you got to explain it to me. Okay, cool. No biggie. We'll change. We'll stop. So it's that thing. They full on trust me. So I've earned that position as far as everything I've encountered, and because I've never given up, I've never lost faith, I've never attempted suicide, I've never pledged allegiance to them. So it's like those on this side that have been watching me. I'm just saying, this last Friday, they let me know that I'm the commander on the fucking battlefield. I'm the commander, and essentially, as far as communications, and I'm just letting you guys know what's going down. Heavenly Father's still the number one in charge. He's not retired right now. He's the one that's full on in charge of this thing. But as far as down on the ground, everybody that's, as far as the military, Heavenly Father's military, it's like if you're playing chess and you have all your different pieces on the board, it's like Brandon's the king on the chessboard. And, we got to keep Brandon alive. And while Brandon's alive, he's going to be speaking. He's going to be speaking, and everybody who's on this side, you're going to be getting your briefing. This is me psychologically preparing all of you, letting you know some of this stuff is right around the corner. And all of you who are on this side, just don't be afraid. It's the whole thing. Yes, it might be scary, but you got to get past, whatever fears you have to push through your fears. You have to stay focused, continue praying, and pray for the discernment. Pray for whatever you need to pray for as far as getting yourself psychologically, spiritually, and physically prepared for whatever's about to come down the road. That way, when the day comes, it's not going to be a big shock or surprise. You're just going to be receptive, listening to the energy, and it will guide you and tell you where you need to go so that you and your loved ones can stay safe, provided all of you guys are saved, As long as, for whoever you are, ask yourself, what kind of company are you keeping? What kind of company are you keeping? Maybe you're a saved person, but many of your friends, they don't believe anything you ever have to say, but because you're your friends, everybody just tolerates each other. All of your friends might not be saved. You might be the only one. And at some point, you might have energy telling you to separate yourself from them. And that's when you get to make the choice of which type of company do you want to keep. Do you want to go down this scary road and go with your friends who don't even believe in God or Jesus, and they just mock all of it. They just mock the entire thing, or they believe in Satan and stuff, and you're just running around with them? Well, that's going to be a determining factor for you. A lot of people, this is where everything on my channel, all the videos that I've shared on my channel has essentially been getting you, as the viewer, prepared, psychologically prepared for this point in time where something big is going to happen. I can't tell you exactly what's going to happen. I'm just telling you something big is about to happen, because what happened last Friday, that's essentially there's no more, it's no longer a secret. Can't play games anymore. I'm done playing that type of game. That game, the secret game, the anonymous game, let's pretend it's not happening type of game. You know, so long as Brandon doesn't catch on, we're all just going to pretend none of this is happening, even though it is happening in the background. Like, even beyond my perception, all this shit is happening in the background. And I'm saying I'm aware of all of it now. There's no more secrets, and I'm being given the green light to call everybody out right now on camera, which, you know, get this on YouTube. So just so everybody on this side, you guys are ready. You guys are ready. You know something's going to happen. You just don't know what. And so that's where this is where all of you are full on going to be tested as far as your faith in Heavenly Father, and if you are a real believer or you're not. And if you're a real believer, they will find you, and they will come get you out of this dangerous shit that's coming down the road. Everybody else, you're in for a fucking nightmare. I'm just letting you know, every single one of you are in for a nightmare. And the neutral people, they're going to be outright terrified, and it's just on an individual basis. All the neutral people, you know, on an individual basis, all the neutral people, when this goes down, it's just going to be a matter of how they respond. When things just get outright scary, every single neutral person is going to respond in a different way. Some people are going to just be, you know, because they are so brainwashed with what they found, what they absorbed on social media. If they see a city, you know, they see their city get put under martial law, and then they see the military or law enforcement sweeping through the streets, just because of what they saw on social media, they might become terrified, and they associate them as hostiles, even if they would literally, when they got to their house, they would just ask you to get in the van, in the bus or the van or whatever they're using, so they can take you somewhere that's actually safe, so they can actually have the opportunity to let you know what's going on. You might not even be receptive to any of that, and you're just going to be outright terrified. And because you see them coming, your fear is going to override all of your senses. All logic is going to go out the door, and you're going to be operating off of fear. So rather than getting into the bus and going to a safe location where you can be updated and briefed about what's actually going on, you're either going to run into, if you're an armed person, you're somebody that has weapons, you'll probably just run into your fucking house, or, I mean, you're already in your house or your apartment. You'll run into your room and get your gun, and then you'll just sit there waiting for somebody to come knock on the door, and you'll shoot the first person that, you know, if they kick your door down, because it's like, because they're sweeping every house. They're going to be going through every house, top to bottom, every building. So if your door's locked and they knock and you don't answer, they're going to kick your door down all the same, because they're looking for people. And if you shoot the first person that comes through, or maybe they have technology and they can see where you're at in your house, and they can see you hiding with a gun aimed, well, they might just fucking shoot you through the door. You're like this, and you think you're waiting for the door to open. Well, they can see through the door. They'll just have somebody shoot you in the head, and then you're dead. And then the house is cleared, and then they just keep on going. All right, and then at some point later, somebody else will, the next wave will come through, and they're collecting all the dead bodies, because we're not just going to be leaving that shit around, okay? But I'm saying, if you're a neutral person and that's how you respond out of fear because you have been psychologically programmed based off social media videos that you watched, as far as this, you know, what was going to go down, you just assume if it happens, they're the bad guys, and you're just going to fight. So, and then all of a sudden you're trying to fight the military, and that's like suicide. You try to fight the military, they'll just send in, even if there's a bunch of you, and the military, you know, foot soldiers, they don't want to deal with you, you might be entirely locked down in a location. Next thing you know, a fucking JDAM bomb just falls on top of the building, and all of you just get outright blown up. None of you can hide. So I'm saying, if you're a neutral person and this starts happening and you're watching my videos, and you can look and you can review your own life and be like, bro, I haven't done anything bad. You know, if you're just somebody that's just been trying to live your life, and you've had a job, you know, you've been working, you have a family or a girlfriend or a boyfriend, and you haven't done anything bad as far as these sick fucks that are out here, don't be afraid, man. If they come knocking on your door and they identify, are you so and so, and you say yes, and they give you instructions to get in the bus, probably a good idea. I mean, I'm just saying, because you'll be given the opportunity to find out the truth, and then you will be in a safe location. And then once all the dark shit, the evil, once the military takes care of all of them, they're all going to they're either going to be taken alive and sent to prison, or they're just going to get outright executed on the streets or blown up. Or gunfights, you know. If anybody that feels like they're going to fight the military with a gunfight, good luck, man. Especially Heavenly Father's military. They already know where you guys are and what you have. So whatever military you have access to, or whatever military or technology you have access to, Heavenly Father can literally shut down all of your electronics. All of your electronics, anything that's battery operated or operating off any type of electrical currents, he'll just shut off all your electronics. So any scramblers or anything that you got, it either just doesn't work anymore, or we just hijack it and take it over as ours. So all of a sudden it won't function the way you want it to function, and all of a sudden everything you have turns on you. If you're using drones or anything that operates with AI, all of a sudden that AI might turn against you. Oh, you know, you have a fucking drone that's entirely AI driven, and it's armed with a fucking bombs, like a bombs or a gun, you know, a machine gun. That drone just might power up on its own, and then because you're all marked for termination by Heavenly Father, all of a sudden all of you die, and then that drone just flies away, or it just lands on the ground and just shuts off, and then the good guys show up, and then they take care of the bodies and collect all the weapons and technology, and they just keep moving. It's how it's going to happen. This is as I'm describing it. This is what's going to go down. And it just depends. Are you a saved person? You believe in Heavenly Father and Jesus Christ and all of that, and you're somebody who is a saved soul, and you're ready to go to heaven whenever the time comes. But at the same time, we're not there yet. We're not in the heaven part yet. We're here on earth, and right now some shit's been going down here, and right now we got to get earth back into balance, back in harmony with how it should be. And the only way that's ever going to be possible, the only way to make this reality to balance itself out, where all this fucked up stuff that's happening just goes away, all the bad people out there that are contributing to all the, you know, as far as humanity going downhill, you got a lot of bad people out there that are consciously doing things to make it go downhill. So we're just remove all of them, so they don't even get an opportunity to interact with everybody else. So everybody else who passes their test, well, you're probably a good person. You probably have a pretty good grasp of reality, and you're probably your mind is broken free, you can think for yourself, you're probably relatively intelligent, right? If you can think for yourself, you probably are relatively intelligent, right? I don't care what you look like. I don't care if you're overweight or you're out of shape or you got health issues. That doesn't define who you are. This reality has kicked a lot of people's asses as far as all the messed up stuff in this reality. Overall, however old you are, it has taken a physical toll on your body. So if you're a little overweight, or even if you're obese, you got health issues, that doesn't mean you're over here. You might be solid in your mind. You might be a full-on really good person, but just in your body kind of turned on you. Maybe you got a fucking, maybe you went to the doctor and whatever medicine they gave you, it did something to you which affected your physical body. It doesn't matter what you physically look like. As long as you're a full-on believer, and you're somebody who's confessed and repented, you're saved, right? You've been baptized, baptized by the holy fire, or been baptized with water, but you're somebody who's saved and transformed. This is me kind of slowed down a little bit. Everything I've described. Don't be afraid. Don't be afraid. It's okay. If you're on this side, don't be afraid. Just listen. Listen to your heart. Just listen to your heart and your mind. Pray. Everything after this video is over, you need to turn around and pray. And ask Heavenly Father for a little bit of clarity if you don't have any. Everything I might say might make sense, but you're going to have your own feelings because, wherever you're at in your life right now, what I'm sharing with you, everything I'm sharing with you, that's very disruptive as far as, anybody who has had their own plans as far as what they want to do in their life. What I'm sharing with you, I'm essentially telling you whatever plans you have isn't going to happen. So this can be devastating for a lot of people when I'm telling you, whoever you are, all of your goals and dreams essentially might just go away for a little while. Everything you've wanted to accomplish, is just going to be removed into where you're essentially here and now. You're here in the present day, present moment, and this reality is going to get really fucking scary for a little bit. Entirely to get rid of these guys. Get these guys dealt with. And once they're dealt with, when it's all said and done, they're all said and done, right? They're all accounted for. They're either terminated or they're in custody waiting for their final judgment. Either way, they're dealt with, right? Everybody else, after that, everybody's going to be allowed to proceed forward. There's going to be a lot. I can't tell you what the world's going to look like or what anything's going to look like at that time, because right now we're focused on here in the present. We'll deal with the here and the present, and just, that's where you have to have faith. Heavenly Father has a plan. And if you believe in God and Heavenly Father, He has a plan, and anything is possible. He can fix things on a whim. He has His own whole plan of what He has planned, right? Of what's going to happen. And it's just right now, it's just a matter of making sure you're on that side. You're on the side that's going to be allowed to proceed forward. And if you are, there's nothing to be afraid of. But if you're on this side, you have everything to be afraid of. I'm just saying, just depends, man. Depends on who you are. If you're on this side, you have everything in the world to be afraid of. Your worst fucking fears are coming after you here soon, if they haven't already arrived. Whoever you are, if you're guilty and you're an open Satanist and you sold your soul to the devil for whatever fucking reasons, or you're a rapist or a pedophile, that shit, you've been part of the child trafficking, sex trafficking, I'm letting you know you have everything to be fucking scared of right now. You have every reason to be outright terrified of me. Every reason to be terrified of me, and I don't even care. I'm trying to scare you. Right? Everything I'm sharing with you, it is to terrify you. I am terrifying this side on purpose. All of you have every reason to be terrified of me. Because I'm just saying, if at some point in the near future, Heavenly Father or the angels or somebody shows up from the heavenly side, and they're like, hey, Brandon, you ready for your powers? Yeah, man, I'm ready. All of a sudden, I just have powers that nobody else has. If you're on this side, there's nothing you can do about that. If I have all these powers, that from that point forward, there's nothing you can do about me, or I don't give a fuck what your opinion is. Oh my God, Brandon has powers. That's not fair. Cool, that's your opinion. But the reality of the matter is, I might just have all these powers, next level God mode, not God himself, but his son and Heavenly Father just gave me God mode for a little while, I mean, I don't have everything, but he's given me what I need. I'm full on equipped with what I need as far as magical powers and stuff to deal with what's here. And then, once it's dealt with, essentially, even on my own terms, it's not something he's going to just take it away from me. It's like, okay, Brandon, no more. And he takes it, and then all of a sudden I can't do anything. No, all you got to do is tell me, okay, Brandon, we're done. Turn it all off as far as the scary things that I can do, the things that I'll be able to do as far as dealing with these guys. All he has to do is just like, Brandon, we got it dealt with. Just bring it down and slow it down and turn all that off. And then, okay, I'll just turn off all my scary energy. And then we just start focusing on what we got to do to start fixing things, repairing things, and healing. And then getting everybody else up to speed. And then from that point forward, the guilty parties are dealt with. And everybody else, we're just one giant big family. And then everybody's going to be, everybody who made it, everybody is compensated in such a way that they will never need anything again. That everybody will have everything. As far as going forward and living your life, you'll have everything you need to go live your best life. And money might not even exist anymore. Like literally money just doesn't even exist, because all of a sudden everybody on this side, everybody might just attain powers like Harry Potter. Everybody just might have their own magical powers. Everybody has like the same types of powers, but your imagination is your limitation. And as long as you're using your gifts responsibly and you're not hurting anybody, you're not consciously doing bad things to hurt anybody, well, everybody gets these powers. And because you all have these powers, you don't have to go get a stupid fucking job that doesn't matter. You don't have to go be a wage slave. You're never going to be a debt slave ever again. Slavery doesn't exist anymore. Everybody who passes, everybody has what they need, and you can go live your life to the best of your abilities. That's the type of reality that I will create if I'm given that type of, Heavenly Father gives me those powers, and between him and myself and everybody else on our team, we all work on the same objective. Everybody who passes their test, slavery's over. You all have everything you need. Go enjoy your lives. But at the same time, what kind of stuff do we want to build now? Now that everybody's set free, What can we do? What kind of cool things can we do? What can we innovate? What can we create inside this reality that will make this place absolutely fucking awesome? That's when we, all you guys all you guys made your own choice. All the bad guys, all you who sold out, all of you who sold out for temporary. He's lucky. Everybody who sold out for $1 million, like, I want to be a millionaire, so I'm gonna go pledge my soul to Satan, and then you all of a sudden you have $1 million, and you sold your soul, and then the next thing you know, you spent your $1 million within a couple years, and you're broke again, but you sold your soul. Okay, well, that sucks for you, because anybody who made that deal with the devil, whatever deal you made was only temporary, because your life, your human body, your physical flesh, you come and go like the wind. Your physical flesh, you're born, you're alive, and then you die. A whole lifetime might seem long, but it's very short when your soul is eternal. When your spirit is eternal and is forever, whether you're alive 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, 70, 80 years here, that's still nothing. That's, even if you're 80 years old, that is nothing compared to what's after. So if you sold your soul for just temporary pleasure in this reality, you made a bad fucking deal. Bad deal making a deal with the devil, because whatever he gave you is not worth, whatever it was, whatever you sold your soul for, not worth going to hell over. So every single one of you who are going to hell, I'm saying you made a bad fucking deal. Because once all of you are in hell, or maybe you're just locked, maybe you're not dead yet, but you got fucking sent to prison and you got put in a hole, well, however long you're going to survive before you go to hell, well, you're there. You're stuck there, while everybody else who didn't sell out, everybody who did find their faith or had their faith restored, everybody who found Heavenly Father in Jesus Christ, and they saved them, they became saved, right? All of them are they never have any worries anymore, while all you guys are stuck in hell. So that sucks for you guys. Maybe you should have thought about that beforehand, especially when I've been around giving you guys all this time and opportunities, all these warnings, and showing you I've just been showing you guys the entire spectrum. I've showed you the bad stuff that exists here, and I've exposed you guys to the good. I've shared with you what's good, but it's some of these things you have to see it to believe it. Some of these things that I've seen, like, you have to see it to believe it, man. Some of this stuff, like, when you see it, you're just like, oh my God, it's real. It's full on real. And then there's no more doubt after that. When you see it for the first time, never, ever will you ever doubt yourself again. And I've seen it. And so anybody who has not seen it, yet you're still a believer. You believe even though you haven't seen it, well, you're very blessed. Anybody who has not seen yet, they're still a believer. You're very blessed. And I'm saying the day you arrive to that destination and these things reveal themselves to you, you're going to be so happy with yourself that you never gave up. You're going to be very happy with yourself. And then at the same time, everybody that you encounter as far as this other side, they're going to be very happy for you. They're going to be very happy for you that you passed and you made your way home. Anybody that's there, they're gonna be ready. They're gonna be ready, and then they're just gonna. It's everything you've encountered down here on Earth, all the difficulties and messed up stuff you've encountered, but you still maintain faith. When you get there, you're gonna be very happy with yourself, and you're gonna say it was worth it. It was entirely worth it, because once you're there, you know you made it, and you don't have to worry about this shit anymore, right? So with all of that said, I'm gonna start slowing down now, because I've delivered, essentially the information that I needed to cover in this specific video. So I'm just saying, whoever you are, just let you know some big stuff is coming down the road, man. And it just depends which side of the fence you're on. Because if you're on this side, it might be scary, but at the end of the road, don't be afraid and just maintain your faith. And if you're on this side, you have everything to be afraid of, because your guys' time is about to expire. And then if you're on this side, I'm saying if you're just not sure right now, it's just a matter of how you respond, because if they come through, if you start shooting at them, they will put you down. That's guarantee it. You start taking shots at the military, they will fucking take you down. They will either just outright kill you, or if you just run out of bullets and then they capture you alive, well, they might torture you or just go put you in an isolation hole somewhere, and then you just disappear. So I'm just saying, not a good idea to shoot at military. Not a good idea. So with that said, so this video is coming to an end, and I will be sharing, the next videos I'll be sharing is probably The Devil's Gauntlet Part 5 and 6. You know, so as we proceed forward and you're wondering, well, Brandon, what are you going to talk about next? Well, I don't really know exactly what I'm going to talk about next, but the energy is telling me that looking forward within the next few weeks, I'm probably going to be, maybe this next week, I'm going to really start getting into talking about what happened at Kelly's house when I went down to Eureka, California, late December 2018 and part of July 2019. I spent around a month at Kelly's house in Eureka, California with her and her boyfriend, Nate. And so there were a number of people that showed up at her house. There was like 5 people total who, including myself, there were 5 people total who did DMT at Kelly's house. So that's stuff I'm planning on talking about. And then I'm going to, eventually I'm going to be talking about Dan moving to Oregon. And then eventually, if, depending on how long it takes me to get there, I'll be talking about my arrest and going into great detail about my incarceration. So when I start talking about these things, as far as everything I just said, as far as Kelly, Dan, my arrest, and my incarceration, all the guilty people that were involved with that, back in 2018, 2019, all the guilty people involved, even those who I don't even know about, as I proceed with The Devil's Gauntlet Part 5 and 6, when we shift gears and we go that way, anybody involved with that, it's essentially they're all going to be they're guilty, and I'm going to be exposing them. So this is where So essentially, this is like where, all the people that I don't know about, but they're connected to this, all the guilty people who were involved back then on whatever level. So when I start talking about what happened in Kelly's house, what happened at Dan's, what happened when I was trying to get help from the police and the FBI, what happened when I was arrested, and then when I got incarcerated, and then once they actually had me locked up, that's when all these fraudulent reports, as far as, you had law enforcement officers that wrote reports that were not accurate. They twisted things to make me look bad while they left out vital stuff, right? So there's going to be specific law enforcement officers that consciously chose to lie, which is therefore commit perjury, right? And then once I was locked up, you have different people within the justice system, as far as judges, district attorneys, prosecutor, like the prosecutor, my defense attorney, every single person involved, whether at Deschutes County or Humboldt County, every single person involved that if they're connected to this dark side, Heavenly Father knows about it. So through my entire incarceration, every single bad apple, when we're talking about good apples and bad apples, all the bad apples that thought they got away with what happened to me, everything that happened to me between 2018, 2019, and then when I was released in 2020, all the bad apples involved, all of them have everything to worry about. All the good apples, you're in law enforcement or you're inside the justice system and you're a good person. You're a believer in Heavenly Father and Jesus, and, you're on this side. All the good apples, don't worry about it. Anybody that, if you're somebody from back then, you got pulled into my situation and maybe you made mistakes. Anybody that might have made a mistake or anything back then, anybody that has confessed and repented and turned to Jesus and Heavenly Father, whether it was during my incarceration or after my incarceration, at some point, any of these, they may have been guilty to begin with after what happened to me, but whatever it was, they might have found out the truth, and then at some point they begged forgiveness from Heavenly Father for what they did, and then Heavenly Father might have heard them, and then they got pulled over to this side. So anybody, even if you made mistakes back then, and you've turned to Heavenly Father and He has forgiven you, okay, that's fine. But all the guilty parties that were involved with my arrest and incarceration, that did it all on purpose, and you consciously made that choice, and you thought you were going to get away with it, this is me telling you that you didn't. So whether you're a judge, a fucking attorney, a prosecutor, a guard, a law enforcement officer, if you are a bad apple and you're corrupt, and you're pledged to something in the back room, some back room deals that you've made as far as serving the dark side, all of you have everything to be terrified of, because all the good apples, they're going to come deal with you. It's not me. I'm not going to come deal with you. I can't. I'm in my van. All I got to do is speak on camera. I'm just letting you know the good side, my friends, my friends, family, as far as the real Heavenly Father, my family, I announced to, I'm their commander on the battlefield. And I'm telling them, yeah, these guys, my friends, you guys have the green light to go after these guys. These guys, everybody who's guilty that has not confessed, go get them. You know who they are and their address? Go get them. Fucking put them in handcuffs or zip tie them, handcuff them, fucking hog tie them. I don't care if they're guilty and they are a violent criminal and they have like raped children or women or anything like that. Well, when you find them, you can fucking hog tie them with zip ties and then just throw them in the vehicle and take them where you want to. Have fun with them, because if they've murdered a child or raped a child, any guilty party, any guilty parties that have done that stuff, you've essentially forfeit your own life by murdering innocent children and murdering or raping innocent children or women, men, boys, girls, doesn't matter. You have forfeited your own life because you have done that type of stuff, which means when Heavenly Father's army comes through and they catch you, there's nothing you can say to fucking save yourself from the torture and anguish that you're about to endure just because of what you did. So I have no issues saying that on camera. So, and again, anybody that's saying like, Brandon, you're crazy, you're a psychopath for saying this type of stuff, like, no, I'm not. So again, you're accusing me of being a crazy fucker. Okay, that means you're a non-believer and you're an over here, right? You don't believe in Jesus. You can't see me. You don't believe in Heavenly Father. You don't believe in angels or any of this stuff. And so you're just calling me crazy. Again, I don't care. I'm telling you some shit happened last week. And after what happened this last Friday, it was communicated with me. Everything I've communicated with you. Everything I've shared on camera has been communicated with me by these frequencies that I'm talking about. It's not just me making shit up. And if that's what you think, well, you're going to get caught with your pants around your ankles, when our army, the Heavenly Father's army just comes sweeping through, and there's nothing you can do about it. Doesn't matter who you are, how much money you have, what you're connected to, who your friends are. They don't care. They won't care. If you're either marked as somebody saved or you're marked as somebody that's about to get collected and put in prison or terminated, or you're marked as somebody who gets an opportunity to find the truth. And if you're amongst this group and you get sent somewhere and they just start sharing the truth with you, it's really just going to depend on how you respond to it. Are you, after learning the truth, are you going to become a believer, or are you going to run from, once you hear the truth, you're going to run from it and you're going to whatever. At that point, you might just, I don't even know what they'll do with you if you can't handle the truth. I mean, that's crazy. But anyways, so after, this video is about to end, and then the next video is probably going to be, we're going to be probably talking about Kelly. So there's a lot of interesting things for all of you who want to know what happened. But essentially, everything that I share is just going to be like bonus material. From this point forward, after everything I've just said, all my other videos, all my future videos looking forward is essentially just going to be bonus material. You want to know about what happened at Kelly's house? Cool. A lot of people probably do, but it's not really going to affect what's happening right now because all these guilty parties, it's already game, set, match. It's just a matter of the when and where before everything just rolls out, But as far as, I mean, there's nothing Kelly can do. When I start talking about Kelly and what happened in 2019, there's nothing she can do to fucking stop me. Unless, she can turn around and start screaming at people, telling them to come after me. Well, go for it, Kelly. If you're Jerry or Dan, go for it. Whoever you got that will take orders from you, go for it. Whatever money you guys got left, if you guys are willing to bankrupt yourself by spending all of your money and resources, hiring people to come after me, I'm just letting you know I can count over 15 attempts that you guys have made over the past 9 months, and you guys have not succeeded yet. So, yeah, go for it. If you guys, by talking about Kelly on camera, yeah, if she's going to turn around and start screaming at people to fucking try coming after me or arrest me or shut down my account or whatever, but it doesn't matter. The cat's out of the bag. Even if my account did go down, even if my YouTube account did go down, it's too late. The cat is out of the bag, And it doesn't matter anymore. So I'm just saying all my future videos from this point forward, it's just bonus material. I'll be giving you guys briefings, about what I currently got going on. Anything that's been relayed with me that needs to be relayed with you, I'll share that stuff with you. But other than that, yeah, I'm going to be continuing with my story, telling you about what happened back in 2019, 20, 21, 22, 23, and then 24 and 25. And if you just enjoy my storytelling, this is my invitation for you to continue watching. If you enjoy my videos, well, just understand every time you click on it has nothing to do with like, oh my God, 3 hours or 2 hour video, that's so long. No, you click on my videos because you want to watch it. I'm not forcing it upon you. When you click on a video, if it's 3 hours long and you only got an hour available, so watch an hour. Watch an hour and then go do what you got to get done in the day. And when you get time, you can put in another hour and another hour. Just as you can, watch the videos if you enjoy it. But don't look at it as like, oh my God, this is too much, Brandon. Why? I'm not forcing you to be here. I'm doing it because I'm offering you guys all of this information to help all of you break free from your own dark, scary places and to let you know about some of the things that I've experienced in my own life. So therefore, you become aware that there's all this type of stuff. Not only is it out there, but it's like I've encountered it and I'm just trying to let you know it's out there. So therefore, you don't fall into any traps or snares that are out there. If you have children, you got your own children, or your boyfriend or girlfriend, or your wife or your husband, by becoming aware of all this scary stuff that's out there, you guys can help each other not to fall into these lower frequency places, these low densities. You guys can help each other not fall into these low emotional states because you understand where it's all coming from, right? So yeah, that's pretty much it. So whoever you are, just make sure you make your prayer. Once this video is over, go make a prayer and meditate, think about what I've shared, and then just really, it's all about getting you prepared because something is about to happen. Again, I'm not saying it's going to happen today or tomorrow or next week. I'm saying it's soon. It could be the end of the month. It could be next month. It could be sometime early summertime. I don't know. But Heavenly Father is the only one who knows when. He's the only one. Nobody else knows when. You can look that up in the Bible too. Heavenly Father's the only one who knows. It's just, if you can just read my energy, why would I even be talking about this stuff? Because I'm being told, I was instructed to. They shared all this stuff with me for a reason, so I can turn around and share it with you guys. So all of you who are on my side, you can be prepared as much as you can. So if something does happen, it won't be a shock to you. You won't be caught with your pants around your ankles. So take the time to get your own self prepared, both your mind, body, and soul. You need to have your mind and your soul prepared just as much as your physical being. Okay? So have a good night, a good evening, good afternoon, or good morning, wherever you are. If I survive tonight, because again, tonight's Friday, I'm parked in the exact same spot as last Friday. So anything could happen tonight. I don't know, but so long as if this video hits YouTube, well, obviously I survived, right? But if this video doesn't end up making it to YouTube, well, then I guess you won't be watching it. So bye.